Hi guys, I really got to work on where I can do my video pep talks, but this is where it is today. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you my weekly pep talk. So we have been working for a number of years now, since right after Trump got elected, actually, to stop a project here in California called the Cadiz Water Project. It's basically a giant infrastructure project that Trump was a big fan of, that would have enabled a giant company called Cadiz to go in and suck water out from under our Mojave Desert and basically kill a lot of wildlife and really destroy things there for the wildlife and for plants and the rest of it. Very, very bad for the desert, very good for Trump and the Cadiz people and giant sort of, corporate interests like that. So I first became aware of it 3 legislative sessions ago. And I know an assemblywoman who was trying very, very hard to stop it by making them do more environmental studies, which essentially would stop it because it can't pass environmental muster. And we started tweeting and writing letters and driving phone calls, and really we got a lot of energy behind it. And the legislators in the California legislature that time blocked the bill, and it never even got to the floor for a vote. And we were so upset. And but it came back the following year, and a year later we did the same thing again. We motivated people, and I was, better at organizing. I got more people to call. We all sent emails, and huge groups called and organized. And another legislator who was supposedly a climate champion, but who's taking money from Cadiz, not naming any names, blocked it. And again, it was sort of dead in the water, and it just looked like we'd lost, and the whole project was going to go forward. Well, this year it got brought up again, and for whatever reason, things had shifted. There's more awareness. There was a bigger coalition of people working on it, but we've been making the calls, and it passed through the Senate, and then it passed through the Assembly. And then in the beginning of this week, we heard that maybe the governor wasn't going to sign it into law. So me and a bunch of other people organized, and we got, gazillions of people to call the governor. And last night, right in the middle of the presidential debates, I learned that he had signed this bill into law, SB 307, and it protects the Mojave Desert really basically permanently from Trump and David Bernhardt, the Interior Secretary, who basically wants to drill and extract, and just, all he cares about is extraction. And we've stopped them. So I guess I want to say that, sometimes it doesn't happen right away. And sometimes it looks like we've been defeated. And, this is a long game. And I guess I want to remind everybody that this is really a time when we can't take our first failure and let it drive us away and send us home. We have to be resilient, and we have to be patient. Some of these things are time consuming. But in this case, we did win. And if you look at some of the greatest victories that any activist movement achieves, they take a really long time. So it is so frustrating to watch Trump get his way with anything, with his wall, with his the McConnell's judicial nominees. It is very, very discouraging. And I sense that for myself, and I know it is true for many of us, that we hear, oh, McConnell just got, 11 more judges through, and it is very, very disheartening. But let's all try to remember this takes time. They used to say to me when I first stopped drinking, that an ocean liner can't do a U-turn on a dime, right? First it has to slow down, and then it makes a long and gradual turn, and then speeds up and goes back in the opposite direction. And let's remember that that's what we're doing here, really. This is a democracy. It's a giant country. It's a giant entity. And it's been racing in the wrong direction for quite some time. So we are slowly slowing it down, pulling it back, turning, and going back the opposite direction. And that is not going to happen overnight. So this was a huge victory. And it took, even my limited activism career, it took the entire 3 years of that, let alone the fact that people have been fighting this long before that. So this is a long game, and a lot of what we do is we just keep showing up day after day, chop wood, carry water, and trust that, it may look like defeat right now, but it will look like victory if we keep at it. So that is our mantra for this week, is we're just going to keep at it, okay? And I'm really proud of you all. I know how hard this is. I know it is deeply exasperating and that we would all like to be thinking about other stuff, but we can't choose the news. We just choose how we react to it. And next time, I promise I will make you a video without a giant steering wheel on the front of it. But last thing I'll say before I close is I think I am going to have a podcast soon called Chop Wood, Carry Water. So stay tuned. It's the real deal, too. It's not one I'm going to record on my phone. So very exciting. Stay tuned, and thank you for all of your support. And now I'm going to get out of this roasting car. Okay, bye.